Hey everyone, welcome to episode 51 of the Nintendo Prime podcast. You are probably going to notice very quickly it's just me and Eric. Darren could not make it this week. In fact, I don't know if Darren's going to make it at all this month. It's a weird story, but basically he was recording all of his stuff at his grandma's house on a laptop. Grandma took the laptop with them on vacation, so now he doesn't have a laptop to record with at grandma's house. I don't really understand the whole situation myself. I mean, he has crappy internet, and God knows we're going to give him hell. Also, Darren, because I know you're going to watch this after the fact on your phone, I have to say, I told you so. I almost swore. I told you so. Darren, you have not made an update for the end of day post in 9 days. I told you couldn't keep it up, Darren. Just because you were going to do it for a week, I know you so well. And now that I'm trash talking you, you'll probably pick it up for this next week. Anyways,
there you go.
So yes, it is just me and Eric this week. I had another guest, but they kind of canceled on me earlier today. It's no big deal. This is all you need from the Nintendo Prime podcast. Is right in this room. So we have there's actually a lot of news this week, but we're gonna just go through 4 particular topics. I just kind of handpicked them out. There's like 7 other topics I could have on the podcast. Yeah. Some might get mentioned up because you might notice on this list there's nothing about the sales of the Switch on here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we might bring that up, but we'll see. Right now, the topics that we have slated right now, the first topic is an update on Roller Coaster Tycoon situation that we talked about last week. We actually have a really weird update on that. Topic 2 is Nintendo wants to see the Switch last longer than 5 to 6 years, so that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Topic 3 is events or the future of Nintendo. More on that when we get to it. And topic 4 is a trifecta of announcements they just dropped on Twitter randomly in Mario Kart Tour, Nintendo Switch Online in September, and a Mario movie. This is going to be fun podcast, let me tell you. So yes, I should let you also know before we get into this that if you would like to hear our podcast early for $5 a month on patreon.com/Nintendo Prime, go there. $5, you get the audio version early on Sundays. If you want to get super, super early, raw, unedited, all that great stuff, that's where you join the $10 tier. And you get to watch us live record it. We don't actually like stream it live, but we have a live recording of the podcast for $10 and up backers. I don't know how many of them are actually watching this one. I think it says 1, but I don't know if there's any. It's one of those situations where it's the first week we've done it where it's just for patrons, right? Because we test fired just a normal live stream with it last week, so we'll see how this goes. We'll have to tweak it as we move ahead. And then if you want to be on the podcast, the opportunity to do that is at the $20 tier. You will be invited on the podcast every single month. What happens is I put up a post on Patreon for the $20 and up backers only. I give them here's the dates of our recordings. They let me know if they can make it to it. If they can't, well then they're just not on that month. I did my job. I gave you the invite. If you say you can make it, we will get you on. Even if it turns out that everyone can only make it on one podcast, I guess we're going to have 12 people on a podcast sometime. It happens. Our editor's going to be the fun one, figure out how he's going to get all the different audio files all synced up. But whatever. Hey, I don't have to worry about that. It's going to kind of suck on the mixer side, I suppose, because I can only adjust the volume for all of them at once. So you adjust your volume and you adjust yours. Anyways, it hasn't happened yet. We haven't had a month happen where all of our $20 backers have been on yet. So we'll see. I think we have 2 slated for next week, but we'll see if any more slate after that. So let's just get right into our first topic. Last week, we talked about Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yes.
Right. What was the conversation about?
Whether or not we wanted the game and the fun me thing,
the crowdfunding on Start Engine, the investing in the creation of the game and getting kickbacks. Yes. Okay, so Fred Chesnais, is that how you would say that?
Yeah, I don't know.
CEO of Atari Game Partners, was asked about the situation with Roller Coaster Tycoon on Switch, why they're crowdfunding, etc. And he said, from a strategy perspective, as a publisher, we are doing this game from a financial perspective and cost of capital perspective. It makes sense for Atari to try and test some new sources of funding to see if these sources could be available down the road for more games. And then he says, when asked about when put the task about the probability of reaching the campaign maximum of 1.07 million, the CEO had this to say: "I don't know. For me, it's irrelevant. What's relevant for me is not the percentage of funding. What is relevant for me is, can crowdfunding constitute a source of financing for my portfolio? of more than 200 games. And what also isn't in here is that earlier, because there wasn't any direct quotes, he stated it is coming to Nintendo Switch, period, end of story, regardless of what happens with the crowdfunding. And the crowdfunding has nothing to do with it. It was always going to be coming to Switch. So, this is a weird situation because they just openly admitted they didn't need crowdfunding for the game.
Yeah.
Openly admitted this game's coming to Switch regardless. The crowdfunding doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's even saying it doesn't matter if we hit our goal. The crowdfunding is irrelevant. They're testing crowdfunding on a game they don't need crowdfunding for to see if they can use crowdfunding on games that they might need crowdfunding for.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
He talks about the 200 games. I don't know how many IPs Atari owns.
Yeah.
But maybe they do from way back in the day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Can you even try to process this right now?
No,
we're not even talking about if the game's going to be good or not. That's irrelevant at this point.
Talk about almost in a way robbing your consumers blind.
Oh man.
I mean, you get a kickback off the sales, but what's the percentage in the kickback? And I don't know.
I understand that, like, if you look at how they're crowdfunding, they're seeking it as investors, right? They're getting people to invest in it. That happens all the time. You get private investors on games all the time.
Right.
But, like, this isn't private. It's public.
Yeah.
It's not asking your normal, everyday investors. It's asking you and me, hey, come give us some money to make this game, and we'll give you some kickbacks. And what they're saying is they don't need our money anyways.
Right. And they don't even give you a copy of the game.
And how is this even a good judge for future support? Because the kind of support you might get for an IP like Roller Coaster Tycoon could significantly be bigger than, I don't know,
some random
Pong. Do they own the rights to Pong?
Yeah.
They try to bring out Pong 2018.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get the kind of crowdfunding support because no one's going to think Pong needs crowdfunding support.
Right.
And you might be like, well, we just don't feel like it's worth investing our money into it.
Well, and the thing is that I'm wondering what to the point of if they actually make more money than what they need, where's that money going?
See, my issue is, like, they are, and it doesn't really matter where their money goes as long as people get the kickbacks they're supposed to get, right?
Right.
It doesn't really matter if you're an investor, what matters is what are you getting back? As long as you get back what you invested and then some, you're happy with your investment. They don't even tell you necessarily where the money's being spent, so it doesn't matter. Right. You're just it's an investment opportunity.
It feels shady.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It feels
when
really
you have him come on
shady.
And say, we don't need this. We're making it for Switch anyways, but we're just using this to test the market. Shouldn't you test the market with a game you actually need the funding for? And if you don't need the funding for this, then why would you need funding for anything else? Can't you use the money you make off this game to fund other games?
Yeah. Isn't that what game companies do?
I mean, I understand from an indie developer standpoint, right? Like the people who made Yooka-Laylee, if they crowdfund a new game, that doesn't mean they didn't make money on Yooka-Laylee, but maybe they didn't just make enough to necessarily fund like another new IP, or maybe they want to save that money to make Yooka-Laylee 2 or something like that. So they don't want to really cross the fund. I mean, crossing the funds happens, but it also depends how much money you made.
Yeah.
It feels weird. It feels like a company is asking for crowdfunding that doesn't need crowdfunding. It sounds like they don't need crowdfunding, period, for this. So why would they need crowdfunding in the future?
Right.
Are they planning for this game to tank?
Just flop? Yeah, right.
And if that's the case, that makes a bad investment because you're not going to make your money back.
Right, exactly. But that hurts them absolutely none whatsoever.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, if people don't make their investment back on this, they're not going to be able to crowdfund ever again.
Yeah, right.
And they're doing it on a game they don't even need the money for.
Right.
And everyone thought, like, $1 million. Are you kidding me? Like, if you were an independent developer trying to make one, sure, you can go far because it's probably like you and a buddy in a basement.
Right.
But this is Atari, and I'm not saying they're this massive, huge company, but the studio they have has been making like the last 2 Roller Coaster Tycoon games.
Right. Yeah.
So they already have the assets, they have the experience. They could probably spec this stuff all or their bungholes in a year, less than a year. It's supposed to be coming out this year.
Nice use of the word bunghole.
Yeah. I had to find a way to get it.
That's
the way I feel
it's,
about this situation. Right. It is shitty.
To me, I can see this. I don't know how big of a company Atari is right now. This just feels more like it could be. I can see this more acceptable for indies, small companies that are looking to get their first big game published, to have backers help them out. I can see that. That doesn't bother me. It's when you have the big name like Atari, even though Atari might not be all that big of a company. It's the name associated with it that seems wrong to me.
Well, my issue is only that when you come out and say this game's coming to Switch no matter what, it doesn't need crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
You can't test crowdfunding on a game that doesn't need it.
Yeah.
That's my problem. So you have the money to make the game, so why should anybody invest?
Right. Because they want
obviously
to possibly
get a return. That would be why.
Yeah.
You want a return.
Right.
But
and the fact that you don't get an actual game out of it.
Yeah, right? Like it was something like, oh, you can do a 2,500 it was like a 2,500 investment and you can get 50% off the game. How the hell are you not being handed?
Right, exactly.
I'm sorry, Atari, if I hand you $2,500,
yeah,
you better just give me the game.
Right.
Why do you need to even worry about charging me the $20 it's going to cost?
Right.
At that point.
Yeah.
I gave you 2,500.
Right. Yeah. Right, exactly. It's
like it's not even normal crowdfunding, right? It's investor crowd. And I'm not saying
right.
Obviously, all the people that are like investors in Nintendo and own stock. The difference is they own stock. They could the values in the stock. They could sell that stock and make money, right? At any point. Or
I can't turn around and sell my investment.
So like, yeah, I know if I buy, say I buy one stock in Nintendo, that doesn't entitle me to get all the Nintendo games. I get that,
right?
But that's stock. That's not me investing in an individual game. If I am a private investor.
Yes.
Which is what this is. You're publicly privately investing in the creation of a game. And you're a significant amount of investment.
Right,
We're not talking about $1 Kickstarter.
Right, exactly.
$250 plus, $1,000 plus, $2,500, like $10,000.
Yeah.
You should just get the game.
Right.
And currently they have 0 tiers that give you the game. So it's like, not that you would pay $10,000 just to get the game.
Right. Obviously you're paying
$10,000
to get the kickback on it.
It's so frustrating. Yeah. I can't believe they're doing this.
Yeah.
This pisses me off.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I was going to buy Roller Coaster Tycoon no matter what,
for sure.
I want to play it. But I don't know after this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's shady stuff that happens. I recently did a review of Tiny Metal. Yeah. And I talked in there about some shady stuff that happened with the company that raised money for Project Phoenix, potentially use that money to fund Tiny Metal instead. They're denying it. They claim they have like a legal pending case now or something like that. I have no idea. Okay, I'm not going to get in the middle of it per se. It's just a he said, she said situation. But, we've also had situations where Gearbox used money from Alien Colonial Marines, I think it was, to fund Borderlands 2. And then they lied about Colonial Marines and all the, here's what the game's going to look like. And then when you got it, it was nothing like what they showed.
Oh, jeez.
It was bad. It was like that's something that legit happened. And Gearbox got away with it.
Wow.
Because Borderlands 2 is so great and they have lots of money. It's like,
oh, yeah.
You shouldn't have needed the money to fund the game. Well, how the hell did you squander all the money from Borderlands 1?
Yeah, you're right.
So,
because Borderlands is amazing.
To me, it's... and I'm not the one to give the best financial advice, but I'm also not dealing with millions of dollars coming in.
Right.
So, I've never had to have a worry like that. When I'm dealing with the hundreds coming in, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But, oh, man, this is just bad. Bad juju. Bad juju.
Oh, definitely.
We'll see what happens. Maybe none of the investors care because they're going to make money. Or they might make money. All I know is that now that this is out there, who the hell's going to invest now?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I don't see them don't need investors. They just admitted they don't need your help. And people were probably investing, hoping that, oh, you know what? I'll throw $10,000 in. I'm going to get a kickback. It's Roller Coaster Tycoon. Of course, it'll make my money back. Mm-hmm. And if I don't do this, the game's not going to be made. Mm-hmm. I know they didn't say that on the page that without funding it wouldn't be made, but that was the only thing they present. That was the announcement of the game. Here's the announcement of the game, crowdfunding project. How do all crowdfunding projects work? If we don't hit our funding goal, we don't make the game.
Right. Well, it's kind of like our E3 fund. We don't hit goal. We don't.
Well, now it makes sense
go.
why they had that 10,000 threshold.
Right.
Where they said, oh yeah, because they were basically saying we don't need the money, so let's just ensure we hit the 10,000 goal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The low end of 10,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's true. Like our E3 goal. If we don't hit our E3 goal, we can't go. And that is what it is. And everyone who donates, I'm upfront about that.
But again, at least they know the donations are going to something else to help.
Do equipment and everything. But I had even people tell me you should just cancel the E3 trip now and just buy equipment. I'm like, no. The E3 trip's crucial.
Right.
But I'm not going to talk about that this time. We'll get into that in a future podcast.
Right. No, for sure.
Man.
It's just a decent example to use for crowdfunding.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed.
Right.
We'll see. I might still end up buying it. I don't know.
I probably will.
I don't
Maybe.
know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, it depends on the cost of it.
Right,
I mean, they're
yeah.
charging $60. We'll see.
Right.
I mean, it might be worth $60. I don't know. We have to actually see the game.
Yeah, right.
So moving on. This is a really weird. Well, not weird, but we got to discuss how we think this is going to happen. So Tatsumi Kimishima came out because this is the week we're recording this is the week they had their big financial meeting for the end of the quarter reports and blah, blah, blah. Lots of stuff. Mario Odyssey selling 9 million, crazy. Switch at 15 million. But all that's nuts, and we could have lots of conversations about that. But there's all this interesting stuff surrounding it from interviews and Q&A sessions. And this one is interesting because it's outside of the norm. Nintendo, according to Tatsumi Kimishima, wants to see the Switch last longer than 5 to 6 years. Now, you might say, well, less than 6 years would be longer than 5. What he's talking about is their typical console cycle is anywhere from 5 to 6 years. You know, Wii came out in 2006, 2012, 6 years later. Wii U came out.
Right.
You know, they typically have a 5 to 6 years. So basically what he's saying is that this is a console that's going to be at least 7 years or more in length of time on the market. Now, first off, what are the concerns that might give you pause on being on the market for that long? I mean, we're talking, you look at this being the start of the second year this year.
Right.
So if you go 5 years out from now, 2023, 2024.
Yeah. Concerns is, I guess game pace. Is it going to keep, in a decent pace enough to keep the system viable?
Yeah, they've never actually kept up game pace for 5 straight years, 6 straight years, let alone 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, right. I think if a system does have that power, it is this one. Just because of the portability, the concept of it being, portable and home console. Just that concept alone, I can see this having the state power.
Sure.
But it's got to have the games to go with it. And you got to keep that game library up.
Okay. Well, my thought process is the game library is obviously paramount, but the Switch as is can't last 7 years. Not just like the games. Nintendo can keep making games.
Right.
Maybe they figured it out, and now we're gonna have a regular pace of games forever. That's great because now it's all in one system, so it is possible. The hardware, man, phones are gonna pass this hardware in 3 years.
Right.
So how is this going to be lasting past when some phones have arguably already passed it?
Now, question though, is this counting like a quote unquote new Nintendo Switch where they just give it a little bit of update?
I mean,
or
here's the thing, like even if they release a Switch that's like a Switch XL or whatever and has a Tegra X2 in it, the X2 isn't significantly more powerful than the X1. So like even the X2 is not going to really get you that far.
Well, maybe by that time, they'll have the X3 or the X4.
Well, the question is, like, when he talks about Switch, we don't know because we didn't get to ask him a follow-up question.
Right.
But it would be, are you talking about Switch as it is today, or are we talking about the Switch family of systems?
Right.
Because then you could be talking about Switch 2, Switch 3, using future tech, and it's just all going to be a family. And of course, that's probably going to last more than 5 to 6. Why would they abandon the concept?
Right. Oh, no, for sure. But answer me this question. Do you agree with me, though, that if it is a system right now that could last 5 to 6 years, it would be the Switch?
No.
No? What would you think it would be?
I don't think a system can last 5 to 6 years. I mean, you think about it. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One couldn't go more than 3 years without releasing the Pro and the X, which are basically what would have been new generations of consoles in the past. Yes, they're in the same, that's why I said family of systems, but they're basically new generations. Which is crazy because PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 or whatever are going to be probably even a big leap over those. Or maybe they won't be a big leap over those, which, then you're like, is it really a PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 if it's still comparable to the X and Pro?
Yeah.
So that's the situation you run to with them, with the iterative console thing. And I felt like Switch was always the system best set up for iterative consoles because it's using mobile tech, and mobile tech is iterative. X2, the X3 is probably in the works right now, or whatever's next. And Nintendo would obviously has a 10-year partnership apparently with Nvidia, so like keep that going. And this is one of those things where obviously the Switch is blowing up now, so any thought of, we're not dropping support for a long time. Well, yeah, obviously the last 7, 8, 9 years, we're getting another Zelda, we're getting another Mario, we're getting at least 2 Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's all fine and dandy and sounds great, but it's also one of those, you got to start worrying about the tech because third parties might be jumping on now, but when PlayStation 5 rolls around, when your phones can start playing games at a higher resolution and better frame rate,
right? Yeah.
Like, at what point does Switch feel dated? Because some would argue with like the A10 processor in the iPhone X that it already is, but it's just not in the Android space. It's not. So it's okay for now, and it's dedicated to gaming, and it's got the Joy-Cons. It's got things that differentiate it for a couple of years, but at some point, a lot of people figure that an X2 version has to come out or it can't stay competitive with the current market. And then after that, how does it stay competitive past that when mobile tech blows up even more? It's the Switch, the hybrid system is brilliant in that I feel it is perfect for iterative consoles. The problem is a lot of Nintendo fans don't seem to want iterative consoles. Based on at least the fans at Nintendo Prime. A lot of them, every time I brought up the idea of iterative consoles, like, no, I bought my Switch, I want it to last 7 years. I'm like, well, I understand why you want that. You invested $300. You want to maximize your investment.
Don't get me wrong. Your Switch is probably going to last 7 years. I mean, it's made by Nintendo. I mean, have you seen the NESs?
NESs are still rocking. So
right, exactly.
Your Switch
itself is going to work 7 years from now.
Probably work like 50 years from now.
It's just, like you said, the tech in it is just going to be way outdated.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, here's the thing. I've argued that Nintendo's not necessarily competing in the same place as PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but at the same point, they are because it's a video game space, and Nintendo markets it as a home console. The further and further you get away from where home consoles and current tech is today, the less and less you could say, yeah, this is a hybrid home console. No, it's a 3DS at that point compared to home consoles that you can play on your TV. And that's fine. And that way, current Switch, they can milk that for years, I'm sure. But it's still going to lose all third-party support. It's just going to kind of trickle along with just Nintendo games eventually. And it kind of already is mostly now, but we're hoping that it picks up this year. So,
which again leads us back to if you can produce enough games, you might be able to hold it. Keyword.
Like, I think the key to it lasting a long time is that they consider it a family of systems.
Right.
Maybe they never release a quote-unquote Switch 2.
Yeah.
It's just, a new Nintendo Switch, or a new Nintendo Switch, or a new Nintendo Switch XL, or whatever moniker they go with. But it all ends up being a family, and basically all games can be played across the family, just on the other systems, like with X and Pro, higher resolution, higher frame rates, better screens. Maybe they somehow put a freaking OLED in there for some reason. I don't know. Our phones do it, so maybe they'll do it on a premium Switch someday. But the point is, what people worry about is, but then eventually my OG Switch, it won't be able to play the latest games. You're right, just like the latest phone. Sure. But that's like 5-6 years out from when you bought Switch anyway. Aren't you ready to upgrade at that point?
Right.
Like with your phone. Some people buy, I got my phone, and I could upgrade after 2 years off a contract, or I could just keep it because I don't feel a need to upgrade. That's fine, but wait 5 years, and then suddenly some apps aren't going to work on your phone anymore.
Guess what? If you own an Apple is throttling your phones.
To save you batteries.
Yeah.
That's what now they're willing to replace your batteries so you don't have to be throttled.
Okay.
Anyways, you gotta go to one of those Genius stores, Genius bars. Anyways, I think it's a very interesting plan. It's one that can obviously work. I just don't know. I just don't know if they can make it work.
Yeah, it depends on what their definition of this console is, and whether it's the family or if they're talking about this exact Switch.
Nah, we just don't know enough, obviously. But I think the key is iterative. You guys are gonna hate me.
Yeah.
I think the key is backwards compatibility for at least 3 generations of the iterative, and then dumping it on the 4th, but dumping the oldest one, obviously. Which at that point,
you dump.
You can either upgrade you can either trade it in and upgrade for really cheap to whatever the next step up is, or you just buy the latest and greatest, like most people are going to do, and then be set for 7 years.
Right.
So we'll see. The thing is the Switch is such a brilliant idea that I think at this point, no one wants Nintendo to ever make a different kind of system again.
Right.
They want them to just hybrid this up forever.
Right. No, for sure. I don't know how you go back from here. I really don't.
I don't think they're ever going to go back to necessarily an underbox console, but I think you could see them almost go too far to the mobile side where eventually it's just a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if that's ever going to be in the cards,
not,
but it's kind of one of those things where...
Well, they are starting to create a lot more mobile games.
They're going to be like, yeah, we have a phone that only games.
Yeah.
Can't play Netflix.
Yeah, right.
Woo! Get our
hey,
phone
you can
over
Hulu.
everyone else's. Oh, yeah, you can Hulu. Oh, man. Anyways, I think that's all. I mean, you guys let us know what you guys think down in the comments on this one, because this is just such a... what do you got?
Yeah. I can see this lasting for 5 to 6 years if technology all of a sudden just stops advancing at the rates they advance. I mean, my God, just in a year and a half, I mean, the second you make it, you're outdated.
Well, just think like, what was it? A year and a half ago when I built my computer, one of the top end processors you could get was 4 cores, 8 threads, 6700K. This year, for cheaper than my processor still costs today, you can get a Ryzen processor with like 16 cores and 32 threads.
Jeez.
So it's like,
wow,
what is happening? Even Intel now, like all of theirs now are like 6 and 8 and 10 and 12, 16. Like technology. Well, it's funny. The technology was always there, but just AMD forced Intel.
Yeah,
you should be having more than 4 cores by now. You've been at 4 cores for like 5 years. What are you doing?
Right.
I mean, Intel also sat on dual cores for a long time too.
Yeah.
They still make dual cores.
Yeah.
Still some uses for dual cores.
So unless technology hits a wall,
and it's not.
No, I know it's not.
It's not hitting a wall.
Hey.
I mean, battery technology has obviously been kind of at a wall for a little while, but we just haven't hit a point where we necessarily need better battery technology yet. It's one of those, we know it's coming, but for now we'll just make everything more power efficient and more powerful because somehow we can do that in tech.
Yeah, right.
We can somehow add power but take away how much power it takes to run it.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
Magic.
Like
the green screen.
Hey, they're like Nintendo Prime. They make Prime things happen.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, had to get in there somehow.
Okay.
Topic 3.
So Tatsumi, we're going to be talking about how events could potentially be a future for Nintendo. And this is because Tatsumi Kimishima, again, because of all the crazy stuff this week, explained that as a company, they want to promote longer gameplay for individual software titles. And we plan to implement them even more downloadable content, so DLC, and events that build excitement for games. And then he said, examples presented as an initiation of this are the Splatfest in Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey's Luigi Balloon World, and the expansion pass for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. All right. What are your thoughts on them implementing, DLC, in-game events, and stuff like this? But it sounds like they're kind of hinting that they want this to almost be what every game does moving forward.
Right.
To maintain. They're trying to, as I said, promote longer gameplay for individual software titles. It's funny they say that because they always have those warnings. You've been playing for too long.
Yeah, right.
Why don't you take a break? It's like, oh, you're pretending to worry about my health.
Yeah.
See, this is how you knew that was all BS. Because now they're like, no, we want you to play longer.
Right.
We want you to play these games forever.
Don't worry.
You don't have to buy the latest game because you're still playing the last one.
Don't worry. You have $200, right? Yeah, you're good. For one game, by the way.
So, what, how does this tickle you?
God, I don't really know. I like kind of what they did with Breath of the Wild. With the couple of DLCs that
Breath
they had.
of the Wild was a traditional DLC approach.
Right.
We charge you a season pass.
Yep.
Although they didn't let you buy them individually, which was weird.
Right.
But you charge you a season pass, and then you get 2 packs of content. One pack they claimed was for the hardcore gamers because it added a hard.
Yeah.
They used to just give that to us for free. So anyway.
Yeah.
And then the second pack they said was for everybody else. I'm like, because hardcore gamers don't care about story.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And they gave us story DLC.
Right.
Traditional DLC. What we've been used to since expansion packs back in the day and all that stuff.
Right.
Whether or not people felt it was worth the value, that's a totally different conversation.
Right. Regardless.
Okay.
I like what they did there. absolutely cannot stand charged day one DLC.
I mean, we paid for this day one. But,
exactly.
But we didn't have to.
Right. No. Day one. I've seen DLC.
You mean on disc?
On disc, yeah.
On disc DLC is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
The day one DLC, if it's not on the disc, it could be one of those. It wasn't done. But even then, I don't like that. I'm like, just wait. Then wait. At least wait a couple weeks.
Yeah, right.
But
maybe wait a month.
Yeah, at least.
Where it doesn't feel like you've had this done and you just didn't put it on the disc.
Yeah. But it's also one of those, the on disc DLC is the worst.
Oh, yeah,
You're
for
just
sure.
paying to unlock content you already have.
Right.
That I hate.
That's the part.
Well, that's not what we're talking
right.
about, because Nintendo hasn't done that yet.
No, I know. But I'm just going through different types of DLC that I've come across and what I like and what I don't like. So, I like the ideas of getting more people together and building a sense of community, as long as it doesn't turn into League community, which is salty as hell.
You're lucky that you don't spend much time in the Nintendo fan base.
Yeah.
It's not just League. This is just fan bases in general.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I made one critical video this past week.
Yeah.
One criticism, and it's for a future topic, and I'll talk about it then. But where I basically, because Nintendo rapid fired these major announcements on Twitter, and I'm just like, where's the press release that gives us the additional information?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I made a little video say, "Dear Nintendo," and like, you've set a standard. Please, get up to the standard. Here's very simple things you could have did.
Right.
And I know as someone, because I am quote unquote, as someone called me a nerd.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
little they know that's a compliment.
Well, I didn't really take it as a compliment because he was trying to insult with it.
Yeah,
So I'm like, all right, you can use it as an insult. It's fine. But
sure.
It was just an interesting conversation when you talk about this kind of stuff. Man, now I lost my train of thought.
Oh, community aspect, saltiness.
Yeah. So like when I was, dealing with this situation or just conversing with people, I was just getting so much backlash, getting bitched out that I would even bother. Like, can't you just not be negative and sit back and relax and just enjoy the ride? I'm like, man, do you really like to just take it up the rear from companies that you like?
Hello.
Like, seriously, like, is criticism not just because Nintendo's doing well and I'm really enjoying their stuff doesn't mean they're perfect. And it's such a minor like what I criticized was like the absolute, like, it doesn't actually bother me because I have the information in front of me and I know.
Right.
It's like, it didn't actually bother me. I was making the suggestion that they could be better.
Right. And it's one of those things too, that you are also a news site. It helps to have.
I don't call myself a news site. Well, I'm a YouTube commentator.
Okay. But it helps to have all the news possible that you can have.
Well, the thing is,
if they come out with an incomplete press release, it doesn't help you.
It wasn't a press release. That was the problem. I mean,
incomplete
anyways,
release.
We'll get into that another topic. But it was just a situation where I just was quickly reminded how fast the Nintendo fan base turns on you because they're toxic. They don't want any potential criticism, even if it was completely 100% constructive, and I actually enjoyed the announcements. They didn't care. They ignored all of that. Yeah. Because they just you're just being negative. Oh, this channel doesn't be negative. My last negative video was like 30 videos ago or something. It's just like, I'm always negative. That's why I'm positive all the time. Yep. That's why I love Nintendo. I mean, I guess you listen to the podcast, you hear a little bit more criticism because we're having conversations.
Oh, right.
But it's not criticism I'm lobbying at Nintendo per se. I think the one major criticism that was at Nintendo specifically, I think was when we talked about Xenoblade 2. Yeah. How they handled that situation a little bit. But whatever. That's because we think it can be done better.
Right, exactly. We want Nintendo to grow as a company. We want them to love. Exactly.
You shouldn't ever blindly follow multi-billion-dollar companies and be unable to admit that sometimes they do some things wrong and maybe they can do it better.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm a huge fan of Nintendo, but I'm always going to be critical.
Don't get me wrong. I love the Packers. But boy, can I criticize them when they need to be.
We criticize the Packers all the time.
When they need
and the Bucks and the Bengals and everyone. All the things that we love. It's important to be critical.
Yeah, you have to have an open mind.
Yeah. So otherwise, if you start to enjoy the ride, what happens when the ride goes south and this $20 for online services starts becoming $100 for online services, and they're not offering us anything, and they're just paywalling this and that. Like, we're just supposed to keep enjoying that ride. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen.
No,
it's
for
just
sure.
Toxicity sucks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So League is toxic. Nintendo fans are toxic, and again, this is probably a minority of people that ruin the reputation.
And that's the thing. Those tend to be the ones that are the most vocal.
Yes, they are loud.
The ones that are like us and can actually criticize.
They just like the video.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like there's more likes on that video than dislikes. There's a higher dislike ratio than usual, but there is still more likes. But there's not. I think there was like 300 likes, but there's not 300 comments from all those people.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and one bad comment can spread way faster than one good comment.
Especially when that bad comment ends up getting say 10 likes, which is nothing for most, but for me that's a big deal. Like the bad comment gets 10 likes, that jumps to the top of the list.
Right.
So that's the first comment I see when I'm scrolling down. It's the first comment everybody sees in this scroll down, which is probably why the good people that like it don't want to actually say anything. Because
For sure.
We don't want to get involved in this.
Right.
So,
but okay, back to DLC.
Yeah.
I do like the concept of building a community and having people get together and game, because that's what this gaming is for.
Yep.
One
thing it can be for.
You're right. Okay.
I had to back off that.
No,
what about escapism?
Yeah.
What about depression?
Right. But
there's I think a lot of Nintendo fans actually don't play with anybody else. They just play by themselves.
Well, a lot of options they don't have to play with other people.
Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Splatoon 2, but some people aren't into multiplayer games. They like the single player experience.
Right.
I was just saying, don't quickly dismiss all single player games aren't about bringing people together.
I know. But
just clarifying, because I didn't want you to get chewed out by those toxic.
Whatever. Bring them on.
I
don't read the comments anyway, so
that's why you don't care.
Let them chew me out. I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Here, hold on. Let me shed a tear.
All right.
Okay. So, downloadable content, I'm okay with it. It helps, make the game last long, as long as it's a game that deserves downloadable content.
What kind of game won?
I don't know. Golly. Hey, thanks for putting me on the spot. Yeah. No, I know. I made the comment.
You made the comment.
I know I did.
I know. See, this is how you ask the follow-ups, by the way, interviewers.
Yeah.
Granted, Hatsumi Kimishima and Reggie are just going to talk around it and not give you an answer, but...
Right. I'm actually going to try to think about it and actually try to answer the question.
We're trying to have a conversation.
Yes.
I'm not interviewing you.
Well, I could sidestep it.
I guess.
Yeah. Kind of like I'm doing now. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not actually doing it now. Huh? So I'm still staring at you waiting for you to answer.
I know.
Example, please. Of a game or type of game that would not benefit from DLC.
Let me think of that. We'll put it at the end of the podcast.
He's not going to come up with it.
Oh, sure I am.
No, you won't.
Yeah, you're probably right.
No, you won't. Because you said that when you said that comment, obviously you said it with conviction. So it's kind of one of those, like, there must have been some sort of type of game in your mind, like, DLC shouldn't be there for that.
Right. I think it's... I don't know. It's hard to explain. There are games that... I don't know how to explain it. That's the thing. I have a concept, but I don't know how to explain it.
Well, just say the concept.
Well, I don't know. It's just a kind of a feel where the game feels like, you can add to it. If it adds to the story, adds to this, adds to that, it's great. But if there's no other place to go and they're just adding content to add content and that's it, it's kind of...
Well, yeah, but that gets into the territory of just bad DLC.
Right. True.
Like, if they're passionate about it and they always have a place to go, I mean, they know if they have a place to go, right? I mean, yeah, expansion packs used to stop on old games. Like, oh, we're done with expansion packs for Age of Empires 2 because Age of Empires 3 is coming.
Right.
So, I think DLC is a place with every type of game if it's handled well.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's not always handled well. It's usually not handled well, to be honest. The standard is that it's not handled well. Well, maybe I should walk that back a bit. It must be handled just fine because people keep buying it no matter what.
Right.
So obviously I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's
and I'm not one of those people that says Nintendo does DLC better than everyone else. I don't think that at all, to be honest. They sold us on trying to buy a $20 season pass before we even knew what the DLC even was.
Right.
and they kept trying to sell it to us for months and months and months without telling us what we're paying for.
Yeah.
That is something I hate. What you should not. And I think is I supported it because I bought it because I'm a dumb, blind person doing exactly what I chastise people for doing. But it was Zelda.
Yeah, well, again.
At the time, at the time, I knew I was not going to be at Zelda Informer anymore, so I couldn't even use the excuse. At the time, it's for my job. Not really, because I don't have to have the DLC.
Well, you were
Nintendo Prime.
I don't know if you knew.
I knew in January.
Had that. Yeah.
And I didn't buy it until launch.
Yeah.
Wasn't
he still teasing you on keeping you around though?
No.
At that point in time?
No, April 30th was it.
Oh.
We didn't even talk after he let me after the exit contract was signed. Until like 2 days before April 30th when he's like, "Hey, you want to store it on Facebook?"
So, yeah. I don't know. If done right, DLC is fine with me. But
okay. But what about the other things he talks about? Other things like Splatfest and the free DLC like Luigi Balloon stuff they added. I mean,
free DLC is always great because you don't pay for it. Even if it's terrible, it's great because you don't have to pay for it. You see what I'm saying? It may be terrible DLC, like you hate it, but you don't have to pay it.
Well,
you don't have to play it.
I don't hate the Luigi thing.
No. Yeah, I'm not saying you do, but
I just don't think all DLC is good DLC, even if it's free. Just because you gave me a cookie, if it's disgusting, I don't want it.
Then you don't have to play it. But you didn't spend you didn't spend the money on it and not like it.
Yeah, but it could be something. There's tweaks and DLC added that actually ruin aspects of the game you might have liked. And that was free. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Especially since games force you to update in order to keep playing.
Right. Okay. All right.
So not all. That's what I just don't think all free DLC is good.
Okay.
I think DLC like the Luigi thing is fine because you can just completely ignore it.
Right. Yeah. As long as it. Okay. So let me rephrase this. As long as it doesn't interfere with the original gameplay, like if it's just tweaks to like adding a module to it. Like Luigi's Balloon thing, that's just a separate mini game in itself, right? It doesn't affect anything within Odyssey.
I mean, it could affect everything, but it's a game. It's basically like a mode, kind of like the Koopa Troopa chase thing, except you're playing hide and seek with balloons with friends and blah blah. Blah. I mean, it's optional. It's something you don't have to do. It's something that I've never done. Maybe I'll give it a try sometime, but.
As long as it's like,
I'm basically waiting for you to beat Odyssey because that's who I'm going to do it with is you. So.
Yeah.
As soon as you get caught up. And then Splatfest. Those are like free in-game events. They're like, it's like an event that happens once a month or something like that. And I don't know, it's like a competition, brings people together, choose sides.
Yeah. I think didn't I do one with you? Not to. I mean, when I first got the when we first got the games. Yeah, I think we did.
I've participated. I think in every Splatfest so far.
Okay.
I mean, at least I've chosen a team. I don't know if I've actually played the matches.
Right.
But
I like that where it kind of can bring a community together and then people can enjoy camaraderie. You fight for your team, stuff like that. Gives you pride in the games that you have.
Well, I think like events work well in multiplayer games.
Right. No, for sure.
Because you want to keep bringing people back together to accomplish something. Just like raiding in World of Warcraft, you're bringing people together to accomplish something. I feel like that stuff's always positive, especially if it's free.
Right.
They're free events.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bring them on.
Yeah.
Especially if they're there from day one, because that means it was always part of it. Like Splatfest were always part of Splatoon. My worry, I guess, with this isn't what they've really done so far. It's where it could go in the future. Okay. We've seen what happens with this stuff. We've seen where, oh yes, there's an event in the game, but the event has a special item, and you need to buy money for that special item that you can only use during the event.
Right.
This is without even getting into loot boxes. It's just microtransactions, little ways they can nickel and dime us.
Right.
I mean, imagine if there was microtransactions in Super Mario Odyssey. 9 million sold. How much more additional revenue would they have?
No, for sure.
It'd be nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even investors could argue they're leaving money at the table by not even costume make you pay for the costumes instead of
Right.
using in-game currency.
Exactly. I mean, you put a dollar on a thing to play, each time you hide a balloon or something, if everybody does it one,
that would be bad. No one's even
right.
gonna play it then.
Some concept like that where you can
the
put a
game
dollar
has-
on
That's
something.
why I said the game has all the costumes. All they would have to do is take like half the costume, make it
Put it behind a paywall.
the special currency that you can only buy, like
Right.
they do on mobile games,
Right.
and that's what
Right.
you do.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a pain in the arse.
Yeah, you want 100% Odyssey, shell out thousands.
Yeah, right.
There's
mean
always
like
a way
NBA
to earn it in game.
You mean like NBA 2K18 and
Well, there's always a way to earn it in game. It's just an impossible ask for
Right,
anyone to
right.
actually do it in game.
right? Unless you have 7 years to sit down and do it. But
Well, it's even like like we play Task Force Baseball a lot. Like you can buy cash, but you generally get tons of it. In the game.
cash,
So
yeah.
you never really need to worry
Gold
about
on the
cash.
other hand.
Gold you can make it in game, but you don't
Yeah.
make enough really.
Mhm.
So it kind of hints at you to buy it, and obviously that once you buy it once, they throw a bunch of ads at you. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's such a great deal, but really it costs them nothing. They're just giving you fake currency that's not going to be worth anything when the new game comes out.
Right.
Which is whatever. I mean, they do give us a little bonus when we go to the new game, but it's not even close to the value of what I had sitting on my
No, I
account.
know, right? Well, I wish they would allow you to port your gold over.
Yeah, I would at least port golden cash. Like, give us a bonus and then port gold, or like give us the gold/cash value of our team.
Mhm.
Like I understand having everyone start over fresh every year.
Mhm.
That's fine, but like, anyways, that's obviously a different thing. But I was just worried that Nintendo, because here's the thing: Nintendo is admittedly late to the party on many things. They were late to the party on DLC in the first place.
Yeah.
Late to, and a lot of people loved it. Oh, they were late to the party, and like, yeah, but they were late to the party. It doesn't mean the party's not coming.
Right.
And when you hear the CEO of Nintendo being like, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna make this a focus of like all of our games to have DLC, all of our games to have events, or at least the games that are appropriate to have events, or even free DLC or non-free DLC." I mean, we have to look back. They actually did something like this with Smash Bros. You bought individual stages, you bought individual characters. And it's not to say that the base game didn't have enough content. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm saying it wasn't a season pass. It was individual little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
It was literally nickel and diming consumers. You had to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to have the complete roster, to have all the complete stages in Smash.
That's crazy.
And that's not good. I don't like Smash Bros. Fans. If you don't want the character, don't buy it. I'm like, yeah, but some people just want all the characters available.
Right.
Even if they're not like I primarily play with Toon Link and Pikachu, but I would be highly disappointed if those are the only characters I could play.
Right.
Especially play against.
And especially if, like, let's say your friends come over and they want to play. I mean, granted, you shouldn't have to buy for your, characters for your friends, but it's nice to have the options if your friends like to play with that one because they're used to playing with them.
And the thing is, this isn't like, I don't want to crap on Smash Bros, but it's just the only ready example I can think of right now where Nintendo has taken it too far, and they got away with it. So they're going to do it again.
Eventually, yes, probably.
With the next Smash Bros, they're going to do it again.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Right.
They made too much money doing it. They'd be stupid not to. And that's why people say, that's why a lot of investors say, why didn't you do this in Odyssey? Why is this free? Why doesn't this Luigi thing cost money? And to Nintendo's credit, they've kind of fought back against it, and they're offering variety. But then you can also argue like Fire Emblem Echoes and Awakening, they kind of nickel and dime you a DLC. Like day one, you would get to this point, be like, sorry, you need to wait for the DLC to release, or hey, you can buy the DLC right now for $4.99. It's just like, why? This is what I expect to see in a mobile game. I guess.
Right,
I guess it was mobiles on 3DS, but
Right.
I worry that I love DLC when it's done well.
Right.
Nintendo has proven they can sometimes do DLC wrong, though.
Right. As can anybody.
And granted, they don't have the wrong DLC, of course, mentioned in their examples because they don't want you remembering
obviously.
that we also do this stuff that you don't
Obviously.
but makes us more money, so we're going to keep doing it. I mean, they now, you look at what they're doing in like Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. What happens if they do that exact same thing in Animal Crossing on Switch? Like, who's to say they're going to stop it at Pocket Camp?
Right. Exactly.
And I'm not saying it's even bad in Pocket Camp. I'm just saying that, like, it is making money.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, what happens if, like, in Fire Emblem Heroes, which is a gacha style game, which is their highest grossing app that Nintendo developed in house, what if they bring that to Fire Emblem on Switch? Make that's how you get new characters. You buy crap and open up orbs and whatever and get characters.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Hero fans will eat it up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they might not care that the rest of the Fire Emblem fan base is mad that they can't get characters.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right, for sure. Let's. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
My biggest fear for DLC is that they're eventually going to say, "Hey, we're going to start cutting stuff out of the games and put it behind a paywall."
Yeah.
DLC is
like online multiplayer they're about to do the Nintendo Online system.
Right. I can understand that one a little bit more. But
I only understand that because everyone else is doing it. I don't understand it from the perspective of when I play games on PC, I never have to pay for it.
Right. Very true. But
everyone only does it because Xbox started doing it.
Yeah. Thanks. But no, like if you don't give me the complete story, like main story, without having to do DLC, that's bad on you. And I'm not saying that they're doing that or that they're gonna do it, but I could see it being a possibility.
Yeah, because that's what it's like in Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
In Breath of the Wild, not really. You can not get the Champions Ballad DLC, and you'd miss out on some background stuff, but it's not really relevant to the main story per se.
Yeah, it's more of an enhancement to the main story. Yeah. You don't need the background information to actually complete the main story. Yeah. It's an enhancement to the story.
You don't need the motorcycle. It's just, it's
kind of cool.
It was AJ Numa said it's kind of like a bragging rights thing. Yeah, you beat the DLC, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, bragging rights. You got the motorcycle. Yeah. I'm actually surprised the motorcycle doesn't break down.
Right.
And it could be one of the repairable items.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't do that up.
Yeah, no, please no.
And the thing is, I actually like the breakable items, but this is if it's supposed to be a bragging rights thing, I don't want to have a break in the middle of Hyrule.
Right. It just break down in the middle of the desert.
Jeez.
No.
I don't have the yellow horses out here. I guess I'm running. Well, then again, I ran on foot for most of the game anyways.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with all this because it's been fine for the most part so far, but it's one of those, I see a trend where it might not always be fine.
Right, exactly.
And if they're going to do it in every game, like, I'm not against DLC. I just told you earlier, DLC kind of works in every game, but is it always going to be done well? Is it always can we trust a multi-billion-dollar company to not put money ahead of fans' happiness?
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone gives crap to EA, but people keep buying their games and they keep making lots of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like Battlefront 2, all the controversy around it, they only, quote unquote, only sold 1 million below their projections on it. And it's like, that sounds like a lot to us, but when you look at the overall sales of it being over 7 million, it's well on its way to 10, 12, 13 million, whatever. I mean, it's going to get there. So obviously all the controversy didn't really matter.
That actually gave me an idea of DLC is not being worth it. Iterative, every year sports games.
But they don't do DLC.
Right.
They do loot boxes.
Right. But if they were to all of a sudden just decide to go to DLC, it's pointless because it's the next year you're going to have this next game being out.
Yeah, but this is going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to make roster updates DLC someday.
Oh, probably. Which is
Oh, you want the latest roster?
Right.
Oh, guess what? You can't play against people online because you don't have the latest roster. The latest roster costs $2.99.
Yeah, right. No, God, no! Don't give them ideas. No, please don't give them ideas. No, we didn't say anything, EA. No, we didn't say anything.
Didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you want that day one roster update?
Yeah.
We'll give you that one for free.
Right.
But the week one, no.
Yep. Yeah, right. Yeah.
No. It's $5.99.
Yeah.
Oh, you want playoff rosters? Oh,
No.
That's a $15 spot right there.
Yeah, right. Oh,
People will pay it.
Oh, I know they're well.
I know I'm a dumb button will pay it. It's a problem. I said, don't listen to what I do. Listen to what I say, not what I do.
Right.
I am part of the problem.
But those types of games don't lend themselves, obviously, just because of the short timeline, to DLC.
Well, to be fair, I wouldn't be one of those people for Madden if there was an alternative.
Right.
But there isn't because of the exclusivity license. Just like, I wouldn't be one of those people with Battlefront 2 if there was an alternative.
When does that run out?
I mean, it's going to get renewed. It's been renewed twice or once already. It'll probably get renewed again.
Has it? No. Yeah, you're right. I thought it was a 5-year when they first signed it.
Yeah, it's been renewed once. And they'll probably renew it again and again and again. Because the NFL's making bank off it. They have no reason to stop. Why would they stop making bank off of EA?
Because they can maybe make bank off of multiple games. Because they're going to make bank off of EA no matter what, really.
People depends because EA is paying them for that exclusivity contract. So
I suppose that's
You
on
make
top.
a royalty.
That's on top
you make
of the
a
royalty.
and a yeah.
You'd have to. I guess
Licensing
you'd have
fees,
to.
royalties.
You'd have to. I guess weigh the amount that EA is paying you versus the possibility of
that's why
other-
they signed it. Like the sales of 2K5 way back when weren't obviously that spectacular. $20 a pop weren't that great for the NFL compared to the check that EA is writing over here.
Yeah.
So,
But
anyways,
I think it would be interesting to see if they didn't renew that license, if something else came out, how that would, if it would blow up or not, depending on if people are getting sick of EA.
here's the thing. It's only
doing
going to
the bare
blow up
bones.
if it doesn't do the things that EA is doing.
Right.
But the things that EA is doing is what makes the game so much crap load of money.
Yeah.
The NFL actually probably would rather keep it that way, so they keep making a crap load of money versus everyone shifting over to a game that doesn't make them as much.
The bare minimum amount of updates that you can make to the game year to year.
Anyways,
So-
and this is the reason I want more NFL games and just more sports games in general is because competition breeds excellence.
Oh, exactly.
The reason that MLB The Show became awesome is because 2K was kind of dropping the ball with their version.
Yeah.
And so then that came in, and now it took over, and now there's not really any competition. So when is MLB The Show going to start dropping the ball? Because they're not going to feel the pressure.
Right, exactly.
Especially when they're exclusive and it's the only baseball game to buy.
You know,
the only legit baseball game.
EA, what have fans been clamoring about for the whole time that you've been basically around? How about a halftime show? How about like actual sport, like a sports?
Okay, let's take a step back. That's what we've been clamoring for. I have never gone on an online message board and seen if other people are clamoring for this.
Oh, come
stuff.
on.
We are
There's
probably
got to
in
be
the
people
minority.
out there.
We are probably in the minority. I guarantee we're in the minority. If there was that much demand, it would be there. I don't have any demand for what they're doing with Ultimate Team, and it's the most popular mode in the game. So a vast majority of their players do
we
not
matter
agree
more.
with us.
We matter more.
Well, that's when we make our own.
Yes.
Can't use NFL roster, so no one's going to want to play it. But
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Can't make a college one either.
Yeah, right.
Controversy.
Yeah, right.
So players aren't paid, so we can't do it anymore.
On that note,
I'll offer them pay, but nope,
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah, right. No,
Then
we
they
can't
play.
because then they can't
play.
Well, we'll just
Even if it's $1.
we'll just offer it to Ohio State and Michigan players. We're good, right? Don't forget Alabama. We'll
I'm
just
just paying them $1. They're really in trouble for $1.
Yep, actually they can.
They can. All right.
Topic
So,
4.
Again, let us know what you
Yeah.
think about all this in the comments. Like, I'm not trying to paint a negative light on it. It's more so that cautious with this kind of approach.
Like what's happening now, but could see it taking
Nintendo
a.
is late to the party on things, and that could include microtransactions. And now that they're making mobile games, once they start seeing that mobile revenue, increase, it's going to get crazy. And speaking of mobile, our last topic deals with actually three different
Good call.
announcements. But the first one is Mario Kart Tour was announced for phones coming out before the end of this upcoming fiscal year, which ends in March 2019.
Right.
That's all they said.
Okay.
Nintendo Switch Online is launching in September. That's all they said.
Interesting.
There is a Mario movie. I think they said animated for sure. Being made.
Okay, interesting.
It's being made by Illumination Studios.
Oh, nice.
And it is co-produced by Shigeru Miyamoto and some other guy. I can't remember his name.
Nice. Okay.
So this is the video that I made earlier because they dropped all three of these announcements on Twitter in the span of an hour. Now, I understand that they did that because this stuff was actually talked about in the investor meeting Q&A. And because of that, they were kind of trying to get ahead of it publicly and get the public announcements out. They did it on Twitter, and then they later put it on Facebook. So for starters, because I didn't really have a conversation about that, how do you feel about a Mario Kart game on phones?
I don't know. It's Mario Kart. It could be, as long as they do it well, which...
Well, I mean, how are they not how are they going to do? Because you can make a traditional Mario Kart game. But would they do a traditional Mario Kart game? Like Fire Emblem Heroes is not traditional Fire Emblem.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, it has elements of traditional Fire Emblem, but it's not, the core system's not built around it.
This is going to be interesting to see how the control schemes are going to work on it, and I'm guessing you're probably going to have a joystick
What if
in
it's
the
Mario
corner.
Kart Go? What if it's like Pokemon Go, where to drive the cart you walk around the world?
That'd be interesting.
So how races would work? Well, I guess you get a friend together and you race down the street. Well, how is that any different than just running a race with your friend?
I don't know.
Because
You're
it's
playing
virtual.
Mario Kart?
You get points.
Because you're playing Mario Kart?
And your character might slip on a banana, so you got to stop so your character can gather himself before you continue.
Yeah, because if you keep running, you're just going to keep spitting out. That would be interesting.
Maybe they let you physically throw shells. Oh, God, phones are getting
phones are going to get thrown. Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. Well, time to break out the nunchuck wrist straps.
But yeah, I mean, we don't know any details, so we don't...
Right, exactly. It sounds cool.
There's going to be a way to monetize it.
It sounds cool.
There's probably going to be microtransactions for car types or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just... It is. They find a way to monetize everything. I mean, they could Super Mario run it and charge $10. I think they're never going to do that again.
Right.
I think they regret... I mean, they don't regret that they tested it, but I think they regret that they did it with Mario. Because it's such a big... Like, Super Mario runs a fantastic game. If they had just charged you like $1 a level, they would have made so much more.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't even been opposed to making $1 a level, to be honest. That game's really good. Because a lot of people saw, they pay the first free levels and then they get $10. That's a lot for a phone game. Pass. Or if it was just $1 to continue, like, oh yeah, I'll pay $1.
Yeah, and then you don't think about it adding up to probably more than $10.
That's how phone games work.
Oh no, for sure. They nickel and dime you to death.
But yeah, I mean, whatever, they would have paid more money. Even if people did buy all the levels, more people would have bought at least one compared to not. Anyways,
for sure.
So there's that strategy where they could just charge you a flat rate. I think obviously as Nintendo fans, we all prefer flat rates, but we know that doesn't work in the mobile market.
Right.
Pokemon Go is obviously really, really successful. You can talk about, I don't know how they could AR it. I have no idea.
It'd be interesting.
I always felt like it would have been cool if they would have AR'd Animal Crossing a little bit. Like instead of going around the camp, you can go out in your yard and like virtually cut down a tree.
Yeah.
That it sees.
Yeah.
And like, obviously it's not really cutting it down, but it would just be kind of cool if you could even just gain extra supplies by just holding your phone up and like and like just scanning around and grabbing things from the environment. That would be cool. Like, oh, I bought a bag of apples today. And pull my phone over. Oh yeah, look at this! I got all those apples in the game now. I don't know. Ideas, Nintendo. Ideas. Yeah. Gold mine here. Gold mine. You could even microtransaction if you want, like abilities to like, oh, I scan my bag of apples, I get an extra 5 apples with that bag scan. Yeah. Or whatever. I'm giving you gold mine idea. I'm giving you ways to nickel and dime, Nintendo. Granted, you have to completely redesign your game, so it's not going to work.
We're going to need to talk after this. I came up with a brilliant idea, but
no one's steal.
I'm not announcing it on here.
Anyways, so Mario Kart Tour, great. I'm not actually even mad about how they announced it because this is pretty much how they've announced every single mobile game ever. They just kind of say, "Hey, we're making Animal Crossing. Hey, we're making Fire Emblem. Hey, we're doing okay." I wasn't even that critical about that in my video. Nintendo Switch Online launched in September.
Yep.
For starters, thank God we found a date.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I have a huge problem.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have gave us a date.
Oh. Okay, we've been clamoring for a date, and now they give you a date, and now you don't want one?
I don't want one yet. Okay. I would have rather at the investor meeting and in this thing just them say 100% it's arriving this year.
Okay.
The reason being that now they just gave a date that's making Mario Kart players, Splatoon 2 players, and anyone who's playing multiplayer ARMS, dread. Oh, so now when that date lands, this thing I've been doing for free this whole time is pay gated, and I gotta pay money, even if it's only $20 a year. It's still one of those like now they know in the back of their head. I think there's one of those. It's been so long, we're hoping they don't do it.
Yeah.
Now it's doing it. It's kind of that dread moment, and it's not so much that like oh no they shouldn't do it, although it is really late.
Right. Yeah. What is that? Almost a year and a half.
Almost a year and a half. Yeah. Like that's really late, but whatever. I'm fine with it still coming. I'm fine with them still charging. Well, I'm not really fine with them charging, to be honest. I'd rather them keep not multiplayer behind it, but they're going to do it because that's what's going to convince people to buy it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But what I don't like is that there's no other information.
Yeah.
The only time we got any real information about the Nintendo Online service, besides when they dropped the app when they said they would, around the time it was a little delayed, but around the time they said they would. Was January of last year. We're over a year past that with no additional details, and now we know when it's coming, and we still don't have additional details. Yeah. I don't like knowing that something's coming on us. Like, oh, guess what? In a few months or whatever, we get to have we're getting this paid online service, but hey, we still haven't told you what you're paying for exactly.
Right. I'm okay with, like games and stuff like that if they do that, like where they announce it, wait a couple days, then they finally give you information on it. But this has been over a year already since we've had it announced, and we still haven't had a whole ton of information on it.
I actually, for people who are being critical of me saying, who cares, now we know when it's coming, because they're not ready to talk about it, they can talk about it later. Of course they're going to talk about it later.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, how mad would you be right now if tomorrow they sent out a tweet, hey, Metroid Prime 4 is releasing in November? First you'd be excited.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd be like, wait, you gave us a release date without even showing us what this game is.
Mm-hmm. It depends on how. Okay, it depends on how long they wait.
It doesn't
to give
matter.
you information.
Even if they wait a week, you don't announce a release date for something without explaining what that something is. You're trying to get people to buy into something without telling them what it is. Granted, they're not DLCing it where you're paying ahead of time.
Right.
But it's just.
Sorry, let me rephrase it. Like they show a trailer and then announce a date and then fill in, give you mass information.
If I give you a general year, that doesn't bother me.
Right.
General years always change.
Right.
Like Pokemon right now is 2018 or later. They're even admitting up front it could be 2019, it could be 2020.
Yeah.
Or later just gives them leeway to do whatever.
Right.
And even if it wasn't there, they just said 2018, they can delay it. They can do whatever they want.
Right. Games get delayed all the time. Breath of the Wild.
I'm just not okay with this. I think it bothers. Here's the thing. I'm not that miffed by this.
Right.
I, as a consumer, as a Nintendo fan, basically know what they said back in January. Assuming nothing's changed, that's what we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't know exactly what they mean by multiplayer aspects in these NES games. I don't exactly know what happens. We get to keep these NES games every month because the way they worded it made it sound like you'd only get to play it for that month, and then you have to pay money to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I paying a subscription fee for a trial that I have to buy later? That's really weird.
Right.
Like, I understand if you have to pay for it when you leave the subscription, but like that's what that sounded like to me. And there's been no clarification.
Right.
There's been no they've kept delaying it, and they've never told us why they're delaying it.
Right.
So they haven't pretty much. They announced it and then dropped the app. The app got a bunch of negative feedback, and then they've just been silent.
Yeah, it's
until boom. Hey, by the way, we're releasing it in September. It's like. No, tell us you're releasing it in 2018. Like an investor, hey, are you? When are you releasing? Just say, we're releasing it later this year. Mm-hmm. Done. Then that's fine. Wait to talk about the release date or the release month until you are ready to actually talk about what we're getting.
Right.
That's what bothered me about it. And the thing is, I know I'm going to end up having to buy it because I want to play multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Regardless, but it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a situation to me that I just feel like they could have. I know it's such a small thing, but it's still.
It does seem nitpicky.
Well, that's the thing. It is nitpicky, but it's still one of the. It just bothers me.
Yeah, I could see it.
I'm trying to think of the more casual fans. Forget us hardcore people.
Right.
And that was what I was kind of trying to make a point on earlier in the podcast when I brought up how some fans that were yelling at me about this, about me being all nitpicky and being negative about it, about being a nerd. And that like you just want too much information because you're a nerd. You want to know everything. I'm like, no,
I'm one
of the things I said about Mario Kart Tour.
I wanted to be a knowledgeable consumer.
No. I am a knowledgeable consumer. This is for the consumers that aren't knowledgeable.
Right.
Mario Kart, the Mario movie in particular. They announced what studio's making it, and they announced that Miyamoto and this one guy is co-producing it. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe that's all they have right now, right? There's no director. They haven't even started on the project yet, for all we know. Okay, fine. But a lot of casual fans will be like, who the hell is Illumination Studios and who the heck is this guy that's not Miyamoto? Mm-hmm. They might not even know who Miyamoto is if they're that casual.
Right.
My mom probably has no idea who Miyamoto is. My dad knows who he is, kind of, but my mom has no idea.
Right.
And she might be interested in something like this. So it's kind of like if you're going to have this come out and you're going to make an announcement about this is the studio making this, where's the press release that explains who the studio is, who this co-producer is, why is he a good choice, what's his background. Now, I'm an informed consumer. I know who Illumination Studios is.
Right.
This guy, I quick Google searched and figured it all out. I'm like, okay, I get it, but that's why this information I'm asking for isn't for me. It's for the people that aren't the nerds.
Right.
Because they're not going to go
digging that deep. They'll dig. They'll surface dig. They won't actually shovel
they're still
6 feet.
They'll go release date for Super Mario movie.
Right.
They're not going to dig into who the heck. They're not like you can say. Well, that means they don't care. I'm like, no, it doesn't mean that they don't care. It's that they don't pay enough attention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they might get more excited if they find out that you might get less excited.
Mm-hmm.
If you find out, it's the studio that did Despicable Me. And blah,
right.
blah, blah.
Exactly.
Like, if you hate Despicable Me, you might be worried.
Mm-hmm.
But if you love Despicable Me, you might be excited.
I'm excited. But
if you
I love Despicable Me.
But this is the thing. Like if you hate it, then you might hate this. If you love it, then you might love it. But a casual fan looking on might not even know that that's the studio that did that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when people think, oh, everyone knows that Pixar did Toy Story. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, hardcore Disney fans know. Everyone else just calls it a Disney movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you tell me right now which Disney studio created Moana? Waiting.
Yeah.
You don't know. I guarantee you don't know.
Yeah.
Because why would you?
Yeah.
You just know it's a Disney movie.
Right. Exactly.
Who made Frozen? Disney, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the way it's viewed. So it'll be like, oh, who made Despicable Me? Well, Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Exactly. Most people don't know. So, like, they don't understand. When you say, if they would have said, oh, it's being made by Universal Studios, okay, fine.
That's a little bit. That's a broader term. Well known.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it makes sense if you think about it because they have parks. Like, there goes my dream of having Mario, a Mario ride in Disneyland. I saw on one of these things, and I'm just like, they have a theme park set up with Universal Studios. Why would they ever? Yeah. Universal would never allow them to build a whole theme park in Universal and then still have rides in Disney.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't happen. They're direct competition.
No, for sure. Yeah, no.
That was never going to happen.
No.
Even if Disney was making the movie, there would not be rides. And you might be able to buy the movie at Disney.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. Universal probably wouldn't even allow. You would probably be able to buy the Disney-made version at Universal.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, right.
You get those pipe dreams in your head. It's not happening. Yeah. And what sucks about that is because Disney's got a partnership with Lego as well. Nintendo doesn't. I don't want Nintendo Legos. It's probably just never going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
But that's kind of where I was going with my criticism. Isn't that I'm upset personally. I love a Mario movie's coming, and I actually like the studio it's being made by, even though some people don't.
Right.
I like the people who are producing it. I don't know how well Miyamoto can do with a full movie producer, but he's co-producing. So who knows how much?
I think, I'm wondering if they just have him on for bouncing ideas off of, maybe not necessarily. Right, exactly. Control. Yeah, exactly.
They are scared of another Super Mario Brothers movie. Things I love the Mario Brothers movie, but cult classic kind of
right,
movie,
exactly.
Guess, right? Most people don't. I realize it's a flop.
Yeah.
And they don't want that to happen again.
Right, exactly.
But it's animated. Super Mario Super Show wasn't too terrible.
Right.
It also didn't run forever, so its ratings weren't that great. So they want to make sure it's done right, and they figure, well, you know what? If it fails this time, we can point the fingers at ourselves. Because we allowed the person who created Mario to make sure it wasn't going to fail, and it still failed, which just means Mario doesn't make good movies or whatever.
Right.
Let me tell you, if this bombs, there'll never be another Mario movie.
Oh no.
At least not not as long as Miyamoto and Tatsumi Kimishima and something.
Right.
It'll have to be new management decides.
Right.
But obviously we talk about how we want it to be successful, so there's more Nintendo movies, a Zelda movie, a Metroid movie.
Yeah.
Heck, bring a Kirby animation movie out or something. Heck, I think Kirby would work really well as an animated series, like the Rabbids.
Yeah.
I think it would work crazy well like that, with all the transformations and crazy stuff.
Yeah, right. Actually, it'd be an interesting one to do, like Kirby and Friends, where you bring in like.
What? That actually just reminded me, because Rabbids was a show at one point.
Yeah,
what if they brought it back as a Mario plus Rabbids show?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Why the hell not?
Right.
You'd have the attraction of the old school Rabbids for anyone who actually liked that show. I know a lot of you guys that hate the Rabbids. I love them. And then you have the attraction of Mario. And then you also have the success of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Be like, oh yeah, some gamers might actually check this out because it's going to have references to the game.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm dreaming.
Pipe dreams.
Dreaming big.
Pipe dreams.
Well, that's the thing. I don't hate any of these announcements.
Where's Radon Randall when we need him?
Well, I'm going to throw this at you because I obviously live in my own bubble here at Nintendo Prime because I basically do everything on my own, and the only conversations I have before I make a video
are with
myself. So, like, when I made that video, it's like I didn't really run it by anyone. Hey, do you think this is a good idea? Like, is this a legit thing for me to criticize? So I'm throwing this at you. Like, I criticized the fact that there was no additional information given for the Mario movie. I criticized that in September. Like, I feel like they should have told us September for the online. Not right now, not so they're ready to actually talk about the online, because it felt like, so you're willing to tell us when it's coming up, you're not willing to talk about it. That bothers.
Right.
That you could argue is a hardcore thing, but it's also a casual thing.
Right.
Because what if someone casually finds out that they didn't even know about that stuff last year, and they casually just found out, wait a second, you're going to charge me to play Mario Kart online? When? Well, when was I told this?
Right. Yeah.
Because that's all they're going to see.
Right. No, for sure.
And then, obviously, Mario Kart Tour, I didn't really have much to criticize about that. I did mention in the video that I would like to see a screenshot, but again, really the only game they've announced and shown off right away was Super Mario Run. Everything else was just announced pretty much in a similar fashion for mobile games. So, I mean, do you think my criticism was fair? Because I'm thinking more of not me. I'm trying to think more, and maybe I didn't clarify that in the video, but I'm trying to think of the casuals that don't pay attention.
Okay. Yeah. So, question for you. Where do we know, like, when the Mario movie's coming out? Nothing like that. Okay, so they might be in...
No, I'd say it might not even have started.
Right, exactly.
They might have just inked the deal 2 days ago.
I'm okay with them saying, hey, there's a Mario movie coming out. I'm fine with that. You know, and if they tend to release a little bit of information here and there, you know, that's great. As long as, you know, they don't wait till the very, very end and go, oh, by the way, here's the release date. Here's that. You know, I'm fine with that.
Have a hype.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I'm fine with that. That doesn't really bother me at all. That saying, hey, by the way, we're making a Mario movie. Cool. They do it with games all the time. We're making
They're making that before. Tatsumi Kimishima said that they were in talks with several studios to potentially make a Mario movie. So we kind of knew that they were looking at inking a deal somewhere.
Right. I mean, you talk about Metroid 4. We're making a Metroid 4. Don't know any information on it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like when they announced Smash Bros. Hey, we're going to have Smash Bros. And it's coming out to 3DS and Wii U.
Exactly.
We'll see you in 3 years when we find out.
Right. Yeah. That one doesn't bother me. I can see your point on the online thing. It'd just be nice to know what you're paying for.
Sure.
That's the part that gets me. You can tell me when it's coming. I still don't know what I'm paying for.
Because it hasn't been clarified.
Exactly. Why should I care that it's coming out in September?
There's a lot of like interpretations of what you said. You said, well, don't interpret what they said, but that's what my money's going towards. It has to be.
Yeah, it has to be interpreted.
The thing is, they weren't clear enough.
Right.
That's why there's interpretation.
Right.
So we need this clarified,
right.
and they're going to clarify. At least I hope they're going to. This is Nintendo. Thing is, like, I'm not going to assume anything when it comes to online with Nintendo, because every time I've assumed something like, oh, they're not going to bring friend codes back, they do it. So
right.
Don't make assumptions.
Right.
With online. So I'm not going to assume that they might just launch it and not say a damn word to us.
Right. That's the part that gets me with that. It's not necessarily the announcement of like specific, month or whatever day. That part I'm okay with. Whatever. That's fine. That part doesn't bother me. It's the lack of information that we have.
Well, yeah. To me, the bother with here is just letting us know when it's coming before you're ready to talk about it. You should be ready to talk about it when you're ready to tell us when it's coming.
Right.
And now it feels like, no, you're ready to just tell us it's coming, and then we'll probably hear about it at E3.
Yeah.
Maybe in a different Nintendo Direct.
Right.
Like, or if you're going to tell us, okay, then I'll step back on this a little bit. If they would have told us it's coming out, it's coming out in September.
Yep.
We are going to release more information on this day in the future,
right.
just like they did with Switch. With Switch, because someone made a correlation like, "Oh, you're complaining about this." Well, they did the same thing with Switch. They said, "Oh, it's coming out in March, and we'll have more information on it later." Okay. Well, then they said it's coming out on this day, and we'll have more information later. They didn't say they'll have more information later coming here. They just said it's coming out in September.
Right. Exactly.
They never actually said we're going to talk about it more later.
Right.
On top of that, what you remember is they also said once E3 rolled around, they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to have this event in October. Okay, so now if you say it's released in September, but here is a date and a month where we're actually going to tell you what this is before it comes out.
E3.
Right now, I said, don't trust Nintendo to tell you anything about online.
Right.
And the fact that they've been so secretive about it actually makes people a little worried.
Oh, no, for sure.
One, all these delays means they've really messed something up somewhere.
Yeah. Their focus groups are probably really tearing
when it launches, is it going to be just like when they launched the app? And granted, you could argue the app was beta and blah, blah, blah. That's all fine. I understand the point of the beta, but it's also one of those things, is that how their online is going to launch? Completely incomplete. So now I'm paying for something and the full services aren't even there day one. Or were you delaying it so they would be there day one and then they end up not working?
Yeah.
Because you never properly tested it.
Mhm.
You're using the month one people as a beta test.
Mhm.
And you know people are going to keep buying it because they have to play Splatoon. They have to play Mario Kart. Blah, blah, blah. Like,
right. I think I'm more angry at the lack of information than the actual date.
Than the actual date. Yeah,
Yes.
but that, again, I'm always one of those people, don't give me a date until you're ready to talk about the
Right.
game.
No, and
The
that's
date
understandable.
should be one of the last things you announce.
That's understandable.
If I'm being honest.
Right.
Not a general year, but like an actual month. It's coming up this month. You shouldn't tell me that until you're ready to talk about the game.
No, for sure.
Or in this case,
the online. Yep.
In this case, the online stuff.
And Mario Kart Tour, I don't really
it's a
have.
mobile game.
It depends. It depends on how they handle it.
Yeah, it's not really much to say until we start seeing what they do next.
Exactly.
I'm surprised that I thought for sure you're going to be with me on the Mario movie stuff. Not for us. We don't give a crap. We know what's going on.
Right.
But like for a casual audience, and then you might argue, well, casual audience not going to read the press release. No, they're not going to read the press release per se. But information from the press release is going to get into the news circulation.
Again, it really depends. It depends.
You could argue. Hold on. You could argue that proper reporting would do this anyways and give you some.
Right.
But we all know that doesn't happen.
Right. It all depends on. For me, it all depends on where they are in the process.
Sure.
If they're at the very, very beginning of this and they're announcing, "Hey, we're gonna make a Mario movie," I'm perfectly fine. If they're like almost,
they're not that far along. They didn't even announce the director.
Right.
So.
If they're almost done with it, which I'm not saying they are. If they're almost done with it and they're saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're making a Mario movie," we aren't going to tell you any more information. I don't know why you wouldn't, but it's for me, it's the time frame.
Sure.
And
I don't care about the time frame.
And for casual fans,
maybe I'm out of touch
this.
too. Like, here's the big thing: I'm not a casual fan. So it's really hard to figure out like what are the casual fans? What information would they want in addition to satisfy them for now? I'm thinking of they would like to know what the studio has done, but maybe they wouldn't like to know what the studio has done. Maybe they just want to know what's being made.
And to be completely honest, maybe if they're that casual fan, they might not even care if Mario's being made. It depends. So
I hope that I think Nintendo hopes that they care.
Right.
Because Mario's a recognizable. Some argue as recognizable, probably more recognizable than Mickey Mouse today. Because if you don't watch the Disney Channel, you don't see Mickey Mouse.
Not as much anymore, yeah.
Not like way back when. You could argue SpongeBob's almost more recognizable.
Yeah, there's that.
And I'm not saying that, you don't see SpongeBob on Nickelodeon, but I see SpongeBob stuff everywhere. Like, when I go to Walmart, there's SpongeBob stuff. I don't see Mickey Mouse hardly ever. Right. And that doesn't mean Mickey Mouse is relevant. I'm just saying. Yeah, no,
I'm more of time frame. I can see people just going, "Oh, cool, a Mario movie's being made."
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I was trying to think of what would they like to know. Would they be excited if they knew it was the
I'm sure. I'm not against more information being put out there. But if this is all they have right now,
oh, I know. But the information, the information I was talking about, is information that it's already out there.
Yeah,
this is just letting you know who these people are.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times, like they'll go from the studio that brought you this.
Yes.
They didn't do that, I'm guessing.
No.
Okay. So, I could see where that would be helpful.
Because that's what they do for the casual. The casual fans are like, "Hey, we have this movie coming from the studio who brought you Despicable Me."
Right. That would be, I guess, helpful. But
Home, I think they did Home.
Yeah, which is another fantastic movie.
Home is actually one of their best movies they've ever made. And they got other ones about too, but it's just one of those. I don't know. I felt like a casual fan would have enjoyed some, like, even just some nuggets beyond, "Hey, we're working with Illumination Studios, and here's this random guy's name that you've probably never heard of in your life." Shigeru Miyamoto, fine, that's playing into the Nintendo fan base.
Yes.
But
Right.
This random guy that who?
Yeah.
No one knows who produces. You don't even know if Pixar is making. You don't even know who made Moana. You're gonna know the producer and the director.
Yeah.
Oh, he's co-producing. Who the hell? Unless it's one of the all-time greats, like a Steven Spielberg or something.
And a lot of times they go,
and those would be directors.
It's like the studio who brought you this and the director who brought you this. I can understand where that would be helpful. But
I don't market, and they're going to do it in the future. I'm sure.
Right.
There's gonna
For sure.
First trailer. It's going to start off by the studio who
it's
brought
kind
you
of it,
Home and Despicable Me and blah,
part
blah,
of me is
blah,
wondering
and
if
the company that brought you the Super Mario Odyssey and the Mario Bros franchise.
part of me is just wondering if right now this is just a release aimed at Nintendo fans, where you know who Miyamoto is, you know who some of these people are.
Well, and there's a whole other thing to talk about this as well. Can this be a good movie? Video game movies usually suck.
That's very true.
No, it's animated, which I think gives it a better shot.
Yes.
So they're not going for the real... Like, that's what... The Super Mario Bros. Movie, I think the reason a lot of people didn't like it is one, it's such a departure from what Mario had.
Right.
It pretty much could have worked as a non-Mario movie.
Right.
But they made it a Mario movie.
Right. It's almost like they made a movie and then forced the Mario aspects into it.
But I liked it.
Right.
But it was still one of those... Mario is an animated character, making him realistic, and you can have the issue with any. I think the Tomb Raider movies actually were pretty decent, to be honest. The Resident Evil movies I thought were pretty good too, but there's some people that think they're abominations. So like, can this even be good? Like, what would be a good?
I don't know.
Mario movie?
That's the thing. I don't know.
Well, I heard someone told me, what would be a good Mario movie if they Wreck-It Ralphed it. And I'm like,
actually, yes, that would be kind of cool.
Wreck-It Ralph worked because it was a game that doesn't actually exist, and they brought characters into it, so they didn't have to base it on. Oh my gosh, like Mario's gonna have to be based on the Mushroom Kingdom, so there's limitations with that. Certain things you have to do, certain elements. Whereas Wreck-It Ralph's like, it's whatever we want it to be.
It's an arcade,
and then we're bringing.
It's based in an arcade,
and when we bring other games into it, it's whatever we want those games to be.
Right. True. I
honestly, the thing is, like, Wreck-It Ralph worked. I think just Wreck-It Ralph worked because it wasn't based
on an actual.
They had cameos all over the place, which is great because it should. It's based in an arcade,
right?
But that made it feel more real. But the actual basis of the whole game and the premise and the main characters, like, they're not Wreck-It Ralph. Might be a game now, but it wasn't then.
Yeah, right.
And that's why I feel like that as a video game movie worked, because it wasn't based on a video game.
It brought video games elements into it.
Like, it was based on the whole, like, video game movies. Like, that I feel is one of the best video game movies of all time, because it's a video game movie that wasn't based on a video game, so it wasn't restricted by a video game. Yes, you could use elements from Donkey Kong and like, it's fine, but it wasn't Donkey Kong.
Right. It to me, and all the reason why it works is it actually, think back as a kid, who didn't think that these games were actually alive? It's you know what I'm saying.
I didn't think they were alive. Where does that come from? How long did you think that the Mushroom Kingdom was real?
Yes, all the time. No. Like, you wondered what happened when.
Who was your game? We had this gaming crush talk before. Yes. Who was it when we were?
I don't even remember. Yeah, I don't even remember.
I bet you it was Peach.
Oh, totally.
You were trying to get those upstart shots in Super Mario 64.
Totally. No. God, thank you for ruining my train of thought. No.
That's what I'm good for.
I know, right?
I ruined my own train of thoughts.
Crap.
Yes.
Now I really lost my train of thought.
I got you thinking about underskirt of Peach now.
No,
it's all over.
No,
it's all. There's nothing there, by the way.
No, I know.
It's completely.
No. But it plays to kids' imaginations and people's imaginations of what actually does happen when we're not there. We don't know. Games could come to life. We wouldn't know. We're not there. It just plays to imagination.
I understand what you're saying. My imagination was just sucked in. I would pretend I'm a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
I would pretend that, I'm Link or whatever.
That's why.
That's just me pretending. I knew I'm pretending. I don't think these worlds are real.
And that's also what I think makes Toy Story really a good movie, because it plays to the imagination of the people watching it.
Sure.
Like it.
Well, it plays into what you wish was a
right.
Like, you wish your toys were real.
Exactly.
You know they're not. You know they're not secret.
Right.
Oh, do you really? Because it's all happening. You're not looking. Like, we know.
Right.
Okay. They're not sentient beings.
Right. But it's one of those things. It plays off your imagination.
Yeah. I understand that appeal. I don't know. Wreck-It Ralph, I think, just brilliant. I don't know if it can be replicated, but it's brilliant.
Well, they're coming out with a second one, so.
Well, obviously. It was so successful, of course they're going to come with a second. And the problem is, because they probably didn't plan for that to be a second, it's probably not going to be as
Wreck-It Ralph, I think, wrecks the internet.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Great. He gets loose on the World Wide Web.
Yes.
That's going to be
I'm pretty sure that's what
I
it's
wonder how
called.
many Flash games we're going to see.
Oh, I know, right?
Hey, we might see the beginning of Flappy Birds, the original old school helicopter game.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Oh, God. What goes on the smart devices? No, that's Wreck-It Ralph 3.
Yes. Yeah. Smart emojis. Oh, wait. They already tried that.
Yeah, I
don't.
I mean, the thing is, well, what do you want? Do you want it to be slapstick comedy that doesn't really talk? More like almost like a Rabbids, where maybe like they mumble, but they don't really mean anything, and it's all just
no.
You even want it to be a comedy? Does it need to be serious? What does it need to be?
I don't know. I really don't.
Super Mario Super shows full voice acting and stories.
Right. The thing with the Rabbids is it works because that's what they've always been.
Well, yeah. That's
you can't make Mario, who does talk, all of a sudden just.
Well, he doesn't talk for most of the adventure.
Right.
Besides the usual woohoo.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like Link. Hi-ya!
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. Most of, like, in Odyssey, when does he say a word?
Yeah.
Beyond Super Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't really talk. He's more of a silent protagonist, to be honest.
Right. But he talks a lot more than other characters, so.
Like Link.
Yeah. You're right.
I don't know. The thing is, he has a voice.
Right.
A clearly defined voice.
Right.
It's Charles Martinet. I hate the voice.
Yeah.
I think it works in small little blips like Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's absolutely ridiculous the way it sounds. I think it's absolutely ridiculous the way most of the voice sounds, but whatever, it works because it's Mario.
Yeah.
But if I have to hear that voice speaking actual sentences for prolonged periods of time, like I have heard Charles Martinet doing the voice, I'm like, that's annoying.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
I can see that.
But you can't make anyone else the voice of Mario.
Right.
He is Mario.
Yeah.
And now they even have these like fan mail segments now where he's dressed in the Mario costume, or maybe he's not. He's probably just doing a voiceover.
Yeah.
But Mario's like getting a fan letter and reading it and responding. And he does like one of these a week or whatever.
Huh.
And it's like 2 minutes long each time. And I'm just like, this is exactly, they're setting this up. They're setting this up for the dang cartoon.
Yeah.
Because this is so annoying. Who is enjoying this right now?
It'd be interesting to go back to the actual cartoon and see how they handled that.
Oh, it was a totally different voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't watch the Super Mario?
I know I did. It's been so long since I've seen any of it.
I will say, I used to like the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon hardcore.
Yeah.
Chili dogs, baby.
Yeah.
Chili dogs.
Yeah.
Solved everything.
They also did have I can't remember who the voice actor was for it, but it's really good.
I like the voice actor for Sonic.
Oh, actually, no. You know what? I think it was God.
The voice actor for Sonic, the one for Eggman, and the one for Tails. I liked all three of them. And those are the three biggest characters. So, as you look that up, we're going to start kind of wrapping it up a little bit here. So you guys let us know. Obviously, I wanted to have a bigger conversation about this. I was hoping that Darren and some other guests would be here. But,
right.
It is just us, so obviously we got a little bit into the criticism. But I hope we also found some constructive conversation here. We'll probably talk more about the Mario movie as more details come out down in the future. You know, our thoughts on it, what direction it's going, what direction I think it should go. What?
Okay.
What?
I'm pretty sure it was Jaleel White.
Okay.
So, list of Sonic actors.
Well, you have to be careful. They could be talking about the video games, too.
Right. No, actually, I think Jaleel White did a lot of video games, too.
Yeah, but the Sonic's had a lot of different voices over the years.
Yeah. TV series. Here we go.
Yeah, that's what we want. Anyways, as he's finishing that up, I just want to say that...
it was Jaleel.
Okay.
So Steve Urkel for those people who don't know.
Yeah. So thank you guys. If you don't know who Steve Urkel is, then we're old. So
yeah.
Anyways, I want to thank you guys for tuning in this week. It's been great. We do have, even though Darren's not here, we do have two people from Patreon coming on the cast, so we'll have a full set of 4. I say 4. We can have more than 4, but that seems to be where we always end up at. I want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. You can follow me at Ninty Prime on Twitter. Go to patreon.com/NintendoPrime right now and support us if you like. Even if you don't want to do any of the podcast tiers, that's fine. I appreciate even the $1 stuff. Everything goes to support what we do. It's not just supporting the podcast. Yes, right. We have mostly podcast rewards because it's our most interactive thing. Mm-hmm. If you notice, everything else we do at Nintendo Prime is basically me. Mm-hmm. It's hard to incorporate other people into that unless I'm just having a discussion video. And if I'm doing that, that's what this is.
Yes.
So why won't we do that on the podcast? Reaction videos, obviously, that might that could be something, but I don't do a lot of those. Maybe I do more of them, I guess, if I had a pool of patrons and be like, hey, who wants to come on this reaction quick? I know some people say, oh, I want to be on your live streams. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know if I want you on my live streams. Just the voice. I don't need like Be Righteous and Mark Greenberg and like all these people that are making me suffer actually whispering sweet nothings in my ear. I just can't handle that. As entertaining,
you get enough of it from me.
Yeah, I get enough from Eric. And just the dumb look on Eric's face as I'm throwing up, apparently.
Yeah. Huh?
Anyways, thank you guys so much for your support. Check us out. Subscribe if you haven't. If this is the first time you heard of the Nintendo Prime podcast, I hope you enjoyed it. Eric and I are on every single week. At least, well, you missed one. I know I'm going to probably miss one eventually. Mm-hmm. And yeah, but it's fun. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the day I look forward to, usually the most during the week, as long as I'm prepared. When I'm not prepared, it's also my most stressful day of the week. But I knew heading in, that's why like these topics, I knew there was a whole bunch of topics out there because of the investors meeting, so I didn't have it necessarily prepared, but I also knew it was just going to be me and Eric, so I didn't throw it.
Right, it doesn't take
Eric doesn't need any background because I always explain the stories as well. Yeah. When he does need background, I'm always like, hey, go watch that direct.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't watch directs unless I tell him.
Well, half the time I don't know that.
Blast him in the comments.
Yeah. I'm not going to read them anyway, so blast away.
You know why? Because he doesn't have a Twitter. He doesn't follow Nintendo's Twitter where they tease. They tease you a direct by not telling you. He would have had no idea that Chibi Robo on Fire event there was a direct coming.
Yep.
Nor did most of the internet, although they just said, oh, it's something. What does it mean? All right, folks. Is there anything you want to give a shout out to? I know you don't really you're not a big internet guy anyways, besides watching funny videos on Facebook.
I'm gonna end it like JT did. Go Pack Go.